A very special thank you and welcome to Congressman Pramila Jayapal. My husband and I have known her for a few years and have been so deeply inspired by her commitment to service, which started long before she became a congresswoman. On a personal note, I'm so excited that my daughter Ambika, who's 10, who is here tonight, got to meet her. Our first Indian American congresswoman. Imagine what this generation of girls is going to do when they grow up with heroes and role models like that. Tonight is a night to celebrate the pro bono work of our partners, some of whom we just saw on the stage, and so many of whom are in this room tonight. It is a night to honor the power of our clients. It is a night to thank our community partners who walk with us in this work, not despite these incredible times, but because of them. On behalf of the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights of the San Francisco Bay Area, I thank you all. People ask us how the Lawyers Committee is keeping up the fight in these turbulent times. We start where we have always started, with the client sitting in front of us. Our clients face daily discrimination because of the color of their skin, their immigration status, or economic status, and often all three. Through our individual representation work, we see patterns of inequity, and we challenge them through impact litigation and advocacy. Last year, I told you that we were starting one of the first consumer bail clinics in the country. Tonight, I can report that we have discharged over $100,000 in bail debt. Behind that number are stories of so many families' lives who have changed. When Ms. Marshall's daughter was arrested and held in jail, the bail amount was $125,000, money she simply did not have. Out of options, she turned to a bail bonds company and was forced to sign a complicated set of legal documents to get her daughter out of jail. But even when all the charges were dropped, Ms. Marshall was still on the hook to pay a premium. She came to our bail clinic, and together we were able to discharge her $12,000 debt. The money bail process is only one symptom of a broken criminal justice system. Last year, I told you about our clients, predominantly African-American men, who were regularly stopped by the Oakland Housing Authority Police Department for loitering. Darren Matthew was stopped over 60 times and not cited once. Others were stopped for attending a funeral or simply sitting outside of their homes. In September, we and our partners filed a lawsuit against the City of Oakland and the Oakland Housing Authority Police Department. Just 6 weeks later, the City of Oakland unanimously repealed that ordinance, which had been in effect for 35 years. It is our hope tonight that you will see how we work, client by client and system by system, to work towards a world not only free from racism and discrimination, but one in which everyone has the means to build a more equitable future. The Lawyers Committee has worked on economic justice for decades. We deploy pro bono attorneys to assist small business owners of color as they work to close the racial wealth gap. But in recent years, much of our focus has shifted to combating displacement, which harms small businesses just as it harms the low-income communities of color they serve. But fighting displacement is not enough. Our economic justice work is led by a concrete vision of building a vibrant, economically inclusive community. We envision a San Francisco Bay Area where we not only stop displacement of communities of colors, but we reestablish them. We can realize this vision by building anchor institutions such as public banks, land trusts, and cooperatives that will secure affordable commercial space for small business owners of color. I have to tell you that I had a really hard time working on tonight's speech. There are so many days when I look up from the daily battles we are facing or even read the news and feel like we cannot work fast enough. Honestly, these are moments of despair. But I've seen times like this in my career before. In Rwanda, Sarajevo, Haiti, post-Katrina New Orleans, or right here in the Bay Area. This despair has always been countered by the people who in these moments choose to serve. People who do not just stand up to right the injustice they face, but to stand up for others. They choose to be part of something bigger. Dr. King spoke of these heroes. One day the South will recognize its real heroes. They will be young high school and college students, the young ministers of the gospel and a host of their elders, courageously and nonviolently sitting at lunch counters and willingly going to jail for conscience sake. One day the South will know that when the disinherited children of God sat down at lunch counters, they were in reality standing up for what was best in the American dream. The Lawyers Committee works within a community of heroes. Behind every case, every bail contract, every car that is towed, every school district we take on, there is a client who has made a decision to stand up when they are not treated fairly. Many of them do so not just to fight the injustice they face, but to help challenge the system. We heard Cedric's story tonight, but what we didn't hear is why he wants to be a teacher. In his words, to help other kids like me, Black kids, the ones that are put in unfair situations. I want to try to be there. He stood up to his school district and changed the way they treat students of color. Now, whether he becomes a teacher or a lawyer, he is going to do that for future generations. The story of one of our clients, whom I'll call Jay, personifies the cruelty of the Trump administration's immigration policies, but also the courage that has risen to meet it. Jay came to the United States from Mexico. Throughout her childhood, she was beaten by her father. When the Trump administration tried to unlawfully deny her humanitarian relief, Jay made a decision to do something. Despite threats of deportation, she became a lead plaintiff in our class action lawsuit, not only for herself, but for thousands of undocumented young people across California. And just tonight, that class was certified. So tonight, I am asking you to serve as our clients serve, not just for yourselves, not for ourselves, but for something bigger than ourselves. Let us serve this country and the dream of what it could be. And let our service be grounded in love. When I speak of love and service, I am not speaking of a comfortable and easy path forward. I am speaking of a love that shows us what we believe in. And the strength to stand up for it. That path is not easy. It is not comfortable. And it is often guided by our heartbreak. Children dying in immigrant detention centers. Members of our government openly endorsing white supremacy. Black men, women, and children shot by the police so often that we do not stop to honor their stories. It is in these moments that we know our strength as individuals and as a community. And our strength is rising. That strength is found in people just like so many of you in this room tonight, who in this moment have made decisions to act and stand up for the things we believe in. A commitment to take on an extra pro bono case, volunteer at a legal clinic, or contribute to our organization, or work with one of our incredible community partners. In 1968, months before he died, Dr. King spoke of what he wanted for his funeral. He did not want speeches about his hundreds of awards or accomplishments, or even his Nobel Peace Prize. He said, I want you to say, I tried to love and serve humanity. When we speak of heroes, I think of this, people who love and serve humanity. Today's heroes are marching in the streets. They are on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, staring down ignorance and beating their drum. They are sitting in our legal clinics and standing up in courtrooms across this country, not just to walk with their clients, but to protect and transform our justice system. So tonight, I ask all of us to join Dr. King. Let us love and serve humanity. Let us all be heroes.